What's going on, YouTube? We are back with another video, bro. Today, I'm coming at y'all with another horror reaction video. And in this video, I wanted to switch it up a little bit. In this video, we're going to basically be reacting to horror animations again. I found a different person that I can react to horror animations other than the person that we did before, which was Horror Shorts Party. I found somebody else. Cause I want to switch it up a little bit. I know we've been reacting to horror stories recently, which I did say, in my opinion, is what you call the best horror that you can put out there, or horror freaking doggone stories in general, or just telling a horror story. But I do miss the animations though. That's one of the major things I do miss out of all of them. Don't get me wrong, I love the films, but the animations, the animations are basically like them telling horror stories, but they just got animation in the background. I'm pretty sure that's probably why I like reacting to the animations more so than the films, which the films are still good in itself. The only thing is, a lot of people don't really release their films. So what I be seeing when I go look at this, I don't really be seeing people releasing films like that. I always see the old ones. Oh snap! This junk turned off. Let me turn this back on. But yeah. I told you, y'all, where our alley is, and we like horror stories, and this kind of like people telling horror stories. So we're gonna still integrate these two. I might still react to films, but I ain't making no promises though. I ain't making no promises we're gonna react to films, but it may come back again. Who knows? But I do feel like I need to start doing like this. I have their own separate things, because I used to always put horror films and horror animation the same thing. I should make them like their own video, if y'all get what I'm saying. But without further ado, the video we're gonna react to is 3 true horror stories animated, but 3 true winter horror stories animated for a cold night by MJV Animations. You feel me? But this dude, the only time I clicked on this one, but I always pick up videos like based on what's happening in real life, cause we is around like deep in the winter time, and they claim it was to be another winter storm coming in North Carolina, and that's where I stay in North Carolina. And we just had a winter storm pass recently, so I feel like this is good time to dang on react to some animations based about winter horror. You feel me? So without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into it. And bro,
this happened on New Year's.
I actually keep my promise, bro. We getting these videos now. And I don't know if I mentioned it in my other videos, but y'all, I legit put my PCO in for this week just so I could get these videos out, bro. That's how you know I love doing this, and I was trying to freaking make it, bro. And I'm now focused mainly on my main channel, like I should have, because this channel with the most subscribers. So I like, so you know what, let me go ahead and lock in on my main channel, you feel me? And this is what we doing all week. We locking in on the main channel and getting videos.
I was home alone for the holiday, having already spent Christmas with family, and didn't have anyone to go out with on New Year's night. So I just kicked it back at home, had a couple beers, and watched TV the whole night. I watched the whole Times Square celebration, then just turned on some older holiday movies.
Sure, but ain't nothing wrong with sitting at home, you feel me? I don't know it's me, and I'm pretty sure the other introverts out there, but bro, me, I would much rather be home, like having fun, doing fun at home, and going out in public. I don't know why.
I wasn't all that.
Don't get me wrong, I don't got nothing wrong being out in public. Like, ain't nothing wrong being out in public, but my social battery to grind down quick as freak. That's the only bad part about me, bro.
And around 2 a.m., I felt like getting up and doing something, since I'd been sitting on the couch pretty much all day.
I don't know about sitting on the couch all day. I want to do that.
It was snowing a bit, but not too much. And I knew it was cold and dark out there, but a walk just sounded really nice.
Walking in snow?
I grabbed my jacket and hat and gloves, and headed out to walk around the neighborhood. Right away, I noticed it was surprisingly quiet outside. Even though it was 2 a.m., I figured because of New Year's, there would be parties and whatever. Yet, all the houses only had their outdoor Christmas lights on, and no cars were driving through the streets.
I doubt it if it's snowing. Ain't no cars gonna be out like that. Depends on where you at, though.
Peaceful, actually. I'm not even too sure how long I was out there for. Obviously, I wasn't fully sober, so time was hard to keep track of. and I was zigzagging through the neighborhood with no real direction or route in mind. Eventually, I made it to the park. It looked like the path hadn't been shoveled since that morning, but it only looked like maybe 2 inches of snow, so I just started walking down it anyway. Thought the slight change in scenery would keep the walk interesting. I walked a little ways in before realizing that not only was the snow actually getting harder to walk through, but there also weren't any lights on along the path.
Bro, I don't get
At night,
I don't get how y'all be over here just walking at nighttime, the pitch black with no street lights on that. Bro, I can't do that, bro. There's one thing that I never done that I would probably never do in real life. Unless I genuinely have no choice, bro. I'm not walking in no dark areas. This was some scenery, like he said. Freaking though. My scenery gonna be right in my house, in my bed, chilling. The weirdest people is, bro.
had these small sort of street lamps lining the trail, but I guess they turned them off for the winter. So after a few minutes, I turned back around. I dragged my feet through the snow, walking maybe a minute back the way I came, when I saw something pretty weird. There was another set of tracks, going right along mine from just a few minutes ago. Someone had to have been walking right behind me, and honestly, it kind of looked like they had been following me, given that there were no shoe prints there before. But I didn't see anyone, and when I tried to see if they had turned around, or where they went, I found the tracks led off the
bro, I would have lost it, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
The dark areas that I couldn't see anything in. For all I knew, there could have been someone standing just 10 feet in front of me, and I wouldn't have a clue, because it was pitch black.
I hate this, y'all. I
quickened my pace to get out of there, but I still didn't fully think it was something to worry too much about.
I would have.
I admit, it could have been me being tipsy and not realizing the strangeness and possible danger I was in, especially with the tracks going off the trail and leading straight into the darkness. At the time, I tried to assume it was just some really big coincidence. I got away from there and walked further into—
I don't know, that's what makes me the complete opposite people, bro. If it's me, bro, I'm already assuming the worst. I'm not gonna, ain't nothing in my mind gonna make me think otherwise, bro. I'm going to assume the worst possible, and I'm hauling tail back to the house. I ain't even walking. I don't even care how I slip through the ground. I'm running. If I slip and fall all the way, I'm getting right back up and keep running.
I walked for 15 more minutes. Not that I was looking very hard, but I didn't see anyone else, so I thought by then I was all good. When I made it back home, I took all my winter stuff off and figured I'd take a shower and then hopefully be tired enough to get in bed. It wasn't until I was already halfway up the stairs that I realized how dark it was, and that the upstairs lights were off. This caught me off guard, because I'm the kind of person that leaves all the lights on all day. I hadn't even been upstairs since waking up in the morning, so I definitely left the lights on up there. I could see how this might sound like some small thing that I fixated on, but I think even if I were fully drunk, I'd still have known that those lights were left on. I cautiously walked the last few steps up to the hall.
Oh, let me go back. Did this dude say he left the door unlocked?
Anyone else? So I thought by then I was all good. When I made it back home, I took all my winter stuff off.
I ain't mentioned it.
Figured I'd take a shower and then hopefully be tired enough to get in bed. It wasn't until I was already halfway up the stairs that I realized how dark it was, and that the upstairs lights were off. This caught me off guard, because I'm the kind of person that leaves all the lights on all day. I hadn't even been upstairs since waking up in the morning, so I definitely left the lights on up there. I could see how this might sound like some small thing that I fixated on, but I think even if I were fully drunk, I'd still have known that those lights were left on. I cautiously walked the last few steps up to the hall and looked down, then flicked the light back on. I didn't really know what I was looking for though. I walked through and just peeked my head into each of the rooms.
I would do the same thing, ain't gonna lie.
I made sure to close each of the doors after looking, which is why after checking the last room and turning back around, I felt my heart stop. The first door right by the stairs was wide open. To me, that 100% confirmed that someone was inside my house right now.
You want to know what you do there? You get the bully key. You find something. You get a knife. You get a bat. You get something. A chair even.
After
you get ready to go to work.
For a few seconds, I called out asking who was there. I was scared to move.
How you scare your own house?
And right there in that room, or had snuck downstairs and really been anywhere at this point. I remember taking slow, careful, and quiet steps down the hall, feeling adrenaline and a sinking, awful feeling in my gut as I approached the doorway. And then I woke up. And no, this wasn't all a dream. I woke up laying on the floor in the middle of the hallway, head spinning and with a horrible migraine. I think only 10-ish minutes had passed between then and now, and it was apparent that I'd been attacked and knocked unconscious, with no recollection of anything but the moments leading up to whatever the hell happened. Even my vision was blurry and fading in and out. I called 911 right away. Whoever it was that broke in and attacked me was long gone, but I tried to give the police an account of everything I could remember. It still bothers me so much that a part of my memory was just blacked out like that. I likely came face to face with the guy, probably enough to get a good description of him. Hell, I might have even known exactly who it was. Yet, it's like my own head is hiding it from me. After that night, the updates were minimal, and nothing ever led to anything significant. I don't know who it was or what his intentions really were, but I wouldn't doubt it if he didn't even want me to wake up.
Bro, I ain't gonna lie, bro, you probably knock your own self out. This dude already dropped. He claimed that he be somewhere, wherever he dropped. Come on now, bro. Be real with us, bro. You probably knock your own self out. Or either just fell asleep because how drunk you was or whatever. You should have a faint image of what he looked like, at least in your brain. Even if he drunk. It's just my opinion.
Ski resort in a small mountain town as maintenance/security. All my job really was just cleaning and general maintenance stuff. But I was somewhat trained for security as well, because we'd had a few break-ins overnight to steal skiing and snowboarding gear, or to try using the slopes while we
he said he worked at where?
Somewhat trained for security as well, because /security. All my job really was just cleaning and general maintenance stuff, but I was somewhat trained for security as well, because we'd had a few break-ins overnight to steal skiing and snowboarding gear, or to try using the slopes while we were closed. After the several instances, the company changed schedules around to have 2 people working overnight to do our regular work while...
But that's crazy. We finally got people with our brain, bro. I was saying that if you working like third shift and there's like late night shift, but it should always be 2 people on the shift. It should not just be one person. Like my job, they be having one person on third shift. Why is there one person on third shift? That don't make sense. Y'all know everybody use midnight to try to do some weird, crazy stuff. They use midnight to try to rob banks. They use midnight for everything. Even murder or serial killer use midnight because it's harder to see them and they can get away with stuff way easier than the broad daylight. That's why you should always have, if you work in third shift at a job, especially a place where people known and people try to rob, like a gas station where I work at, and a dang place like this where they saying they get robbed, it should be at least 2 or 3 people. It should never be one person. I don't know why who even thought it was a good idea to have one person.
Possible trespassers. We didn't have cameras or anything, so the security title of my position never really affected my day-to-day job. Because after we started working overnights, we didn't have any more people try breaking in. The most we had was someone coming up to the door and trying to look inside. But aside from that, it was always quiet. Also, like I mentioned, I never worked alone on these overnight shifts. Or at least, technically not alone. My coworker, Matthew, was always scheduled for the same shift, but he worked on the opposite side of the resort. The resort was split into 2 large sections, with just a hallway connecting them. Sometimes I wouldn't even see Matthew for days or weeks at a time. So even though I wasn't, it really felt like I was working alone most nights. But this night had started out the same as usual. I clocked in and started cleaning up the main floor. The place gets really messy.
See, my thing is, with my way my brain works, bro, I wouldn't really care how long as I knew somebody was there. Like, as long as I knew somebody there with me, I have some type of comfort. I'ma still be a little uncomfortable because I'm by myself, but I still have so with a comfort or there's another person there.
So even though it wasn't the hardest work, there definitely was a lot to do. The first hour went by pretty quick. I was still in the large main room when I heard what sounded like a tapping noise. Maybe someone tapping on a window. I set my things down and walked to the front where most of the windows were. I didn't see anything until I walked right up to one of the windows and noticed footprints right under it in the snow. They went right up to the glass, then went around to the other side of the building. Not too sure what to think about it, I threw my coat on and stepped outside to look around. I thought it might have been someone lost, and if it wasn't, then I had to tell them to leave. But as soon as I got out there, I saw the footprints go from the window to the parking lot, which was already plowed, so from there I had no idea where they went. It was pretty weird, but it was way too cold and dark to be walking around the whole perimeter. I went back inside.
He is a kitty. I'm about to say, I would have been out there,
hoping whoever that was wouldn't come up again. I want to say 30 minutes passed. By then, surely the snow had covered up any of the tracks outside, so even thinking about it wasn't worth my time anymore. That was until I heard a few doors open by the connecting hallway of the resort, and a few moments later, Matthew showed up. He looked distressed and kind of confused when he saw me. He immediately asked what I was doing. I looked around confused and just said I was working. Matthew nodded his head, acknowledging it.
Yeah, nah, he done heard something or seen
It
something.
didn't make sense to him. Is everything okay? He said yeah, that he must have been tired or something, shaking his head. Before he left, I mentioned that I saw some footprints in the snow outside, and asked if it was him. He shook his head no. I hoped that he would explain more about what he was so concerned about, now that I told him about the strange thing that I saw, assuming from the way he was acting that he had something strange happen too. But he didn't say anything else. He just left my section of the resort and went back to the other side. Now, me and Matthew weren't good friends or anything, just to be clear. Again, we rarely ever saw each other, so we weren't more than just acquaintances. He was also a lot older than me too, so when we did talk, it was always just work-related. I'm mentioning this to give context on why I didn't question him a little bit more, or go over to his side and really try.
Well, we kind of figured it, bro. It kind of way they even start out the story. It didn't even remotely even say like they do close or friends or any of that. They just straight co-workers.
Figure out what was going on. I kept working, but spent most of the next hour thinking about how strange of a night this was. And just when I thought the rest of the night would go by without any more occurrences, I heard a loud bang from the corridor between the resort. Sounded like maybe a door slamming, or something heavy hitting a wall. It was enough to make me jump, and go looking to make sure Matthew was okay. I headed to the connecting corridor and didn't see anything, so I continued into the other section where Matthew was. Except he wasn't there. Matthew?
I imagine Matthew the one stealing stuff.
I called his name over and over and got not even a sound in response. I started getting nervous, and as I made it to the back of that section, my stomach dropped when I saw the back door was wide open.
What the?
Snow was blowing in, but it looked like the door had only been open for maybe a couple of minutes. I hurried over and looked outside. I didn't see anyone, but there were more footprints leading away from the building and heading up the resort toward where the ski lifts were. There was no reason Matthew should have been going out there, so this only made me even more nervous. I called out Matthew's name again, but the wind didn't carry my voice very far. I started getting worried, like really worried. I double-checked everywhere inside the building for him and didn't see anything. The only clue I had were the footprints in the snow. I ran back
Bro, listen to this story. It's basically like telling people, dude, don't even freaking bother trying to wear a third shirt, bro. I already said, bro, I could have ever wear no dang midnight shirt, bro. The money gotta be good to have me wearing no dang on midnight shirt. Freak all that. Freaking no. That just is like, bro. Like I said, bro, weird such as happen when it's midnight, bro. And I'm not trying to get caught up. I want to be at home chilling when it's midnight.
I hurried to the open door. I walked out and started to follow the footprints. They went way farther than I expected. It was also dead quiet outside, just wind and snow. No other signs of anyone being out there. The footprints led me all the way out to the bottom part of the ski lifts and slightly up the shallow hill, and that's when I stopped. They led out of the resort area and into the trees that lined the hill. There were no lights or anything out there.
Yeah, I'm blind. Never mind.
From my knowledge, it was just a regular mountain forest past that tree line. My heart started racing a little bit more, and I got the feeling these might have not been Matthew's footprints I was following. Matthew, are you out there? There were several long seconds of silence before, in the far back behind all the trees, I saw a figure move into view and look right at me. From what little I could see, it didn't look at all like Matthew. I ran as fast as I could back down the hill and into the resort, falling multiple times from my boots getting stuck in the heavy snow. Whoever was out there didn't follow.
It's crazy, cause the exact thing happened there that I said would happen last one. I've been running and running and running, and even if I fail, I'm gonna get right back and keep right on the road. Freak all that.
I closed the door and ran to the other side where the front desk was, using that phone to call the police. I wasn't sure what was going on, but I wasn't taking any more chances looking on my own. Of course, being up in the mountains, police were about a half hour away. I hid in the closet with all the rental gear for that whole time, listening to the winds outside and the eerie calmness inside the empty resort. It was 10-ish minutes into waiting that I heard what might have been a door opening on the other end of the resort, but I didn't dare even try to see for sure. I didn't hear anything after that until police made it. Disturbingly, they found another set of footprints going back up to the back door, so whoever that was out there had come back, maybe looking for me. And it only took about 30 minutes for the police to officially state Matthew as missing. Although from the police officers I talked to, they didn't see any signs of foul play inside the resort, which makes the officers think it was someone he knew.
Am I tripping? But I swear I heard knocking, bro. It looked just like I heard knocking noise. I don't know if the video making that noise or something else. I think that was in the
got
video.
Matthew to let him in, or led Matthew
But
out.
I swear I heard knocking.
Either way, once the footprints made it to the woods, there was no way to track them any further.
Did they at least find the dude?
For a
Hopefully.
while, I'm pretty sure I was actually a suspect, being one of, if not the last person to see him. But eventually, they were able to confirm I didn't have anything to do with it. The whole situation was really scary, and it's hard not to blame myself a little bit for how things went down. Feel like I should have done more somehow, but I also know that if I walked deeper into the forest to follow the footprints, or had tried to help any more,
You would have got
there's a
got.
chance I would be missing right now too.
Alright, bro. Oh, bro. Y'all. For the people that work third shifts, bro, y'all gotta let me know how the freak do y'all do it, bro. I cannot work third shift. It don't care where I don't care where I work at, bro. Work at midnight, freaking no. Unless I legit got, like I legit have a gun or something with me, bro. That's the only way I can work third shift, bro. I cannot work third shift and not have nothing to protect myself at all, bro. I do not want to get caught like because it be like I already can't see nothing, and then I don't got no weapon, freaking no. That's why the dude that he's over here where I work at, he had a concealed carry. He always used to carry his gun, but he can't work third shift, and I understand completely why. And then like I said, I still got robbed before already. And there's another store that where I stay at. They say get robbed more than the store I work at. I'm like, bro, it's more like, bro, you got that. I can't do it, bro. That third shift, man, y'all can have that. You probably want to ever see me work a third shift, bro. Ever. Now I legit gotta be getting paid like a good about. I'll say about $25 an hour, about $30 an hour. They not working third shift. Shoot.
It was about 4 years ago during the holidays. I had driven out all the way to a small town in Montana where my parents lived to surprise them for Christmas. I stayed there for a whole week before heading back home. The drive was about 16 hours, which I never thought was too bad. I really didn't mind pulling over at rest stops and taking a nap for a few hours if I had to. And I always thought it was more worth it rather than stopping at a hotel or motel. Mostly because it would make the trip take
But yeah, like I said, bro, that was another story where they just don't find a person, bro. This is end, and it don't end like, oh, we found who the dude is, and they revealed who the dude is, and this and this that. What sign that I've watched that they reveal who the dude is? I think a Horse Story Party the only person that do that. Like they reveal who they call it dude. Maybe because he do his stories off of stuff that happened. With Horse Story Party, he do his stuff off of stuff that happened like on the news most of the time. So that's why they're actually end up knowing who the person is and stuff like that. I guess that's why. And the other people that send on stories and stuff, send MJV stories and stuff, so that's why he don't really know like what the end result is, who the person was, this is the cause 9 times out of 10, most likely probably didn't make it to the news.
I left in the afternoon, a few hours earlier than I planned to, because there was supposedly a big winter storm headed our way. So I hoped if I left early.
But the crazy is they over here claim there was to be a whole nother winter storm in North Carolina again. Like they said something about like 2 inches. I doubt we getting snow, any more snow. After that big snowstorm we just had, we might get some flurries. I don't think we're gonna get a real big one like the last one we had.
I think it was somewhere around 4 or 5 hours in that the storm hit. The road went from pretty much empty and uneventful to suddenly snow everywhere within minutes. The wind was really bad as well, pushing my car around and throwing snow at my windshield. I didn't feel like I was losing control or anything though, and with no other cars on the road, I still felt safe driving. However, after an hour of this, it really started tiring me out. Mostly from just having to pay so much attention to the road.
Yeah.
And the snow started piling up on the road a bit more. My phone suddenly started beeping with a winter storm advisory, and only a couple minutes after that, I lost all service. It was definitely a lot worse than I was comfortable with now, especially because if something were to happen, I'd be stuck without any way to call for help.
Yeah.
So I pulled off at the nearest rest stop a few miles down the road. It was an empty, quiet rest stop just in the trees off the highway, with a small, snow-covered parking lot and a service building. There was only a single other car parked on the other end of the lot. It looked like it had been there from before the storm though, because the roof had a thick layer of snow over top it. Few minutes after pulling in, the storm somehow got even worse. It was a white.
Bro, I ain't gonna lie, bro. You be better
You can
off.
see the other car.
This dude would be better off than Kid Driver, bro. Like, bro, I don't know me. Like, bro, I wouldn't even want to stop, bro. Especially knowing, like, in my brain or in my head that it's possibly gonna get it worse. Bro, nah. I gotta keep driving, bro. I don't care. I gotta get driving. I ain't stopping nowhere.
Pretty scary. I can't imagine anyone could have been driving in weather like this. A long, boring hour went by as I sat and waited in the snowstorm. Eventually, both out of boredom and uncomfort, I decided to get out and head inside the rest stop service building to use the bathroom. As soon as I stepped out, the freezing wind and icy snow was almost immediately painful. I hurried up to the building and got in. There was just a small lobby with a few benches, some pamphlets of road maps, and 2 doors leading to the restrooms. Thankfully, the heat seemed to be working in there, so I actually just stayed in the lobby for a minute.
Why somebody be hot in the bathroom?
While looking out the windows at the snow coming down. I could only faintly see the car still parked over there, now with the snow covering the entire windshield. Thought it was strange that it didn't look like it was on. I mean, it was below 0 degrees outside, so not having the heat on would have had them freezing by now. But after a minute, I headed up to the bathroom door and pushed it open. Or tried to. It opened just a crack before slamming back shut. I pushed it again, and that time it barely budged. I took a step back.
Yeah, somebody in there. I told you.
It wasn't like the door
But
was
it's crazy. I literally predicted that. I literally said somebody probably hot in the bathroom. I literally said that.
It was like someone was on the other side, preventing me from opening it. I stared at the door for a second, really just shocked and unsure what to think about that. It was really strange. I thought about just going into the women's restroom instead, assuming if whoever that was in the men's restroom was the only other car at the rest stop, then it shouldn't matter. But honestly, I didn't feel safe being in there any longer. Felt like something wasn't right about this, or that there had to be a reason they were blocking the door like that.
Yeah.
And I really did not want to push my luck. So I hurried back out of the building. As I left, I heard the bathroom door swing open, but I didn't turn back to look. I just continued walking through the storm and back into my car. By this point into the storm, the whole rest stop parking lot was covered in snow, and I really wasn't sure if I could even leave. I wanted to, even if to just drive a few miles down to a different place to pull off at. But I didn't want to get stuck trying to leave.
But you should have kept driving in the first place.
There and tried to wait out the storm.
Why the freak you stop?
I tried to think of any possible reasons for someone blocking the door like that, but honestly, I couldn't think of anything. Nothing that would explain them knowing I was walking in.
I know you heard no
already being
footsteps
at the door to stop me from entering. Only a few minutes later, I noticed a shape start emerging from the whiteouts, coming in between my car and the building. It was a person, and basically right when he became visible, he stopped walking and just stood right in the blizzard. He looked like he was on the phone talking to someone, and he was facing me. Couldn't tell if he was looking at me though. He paced around that same spot for a minute, still talking to someone on the phone, before he started to slowly make his way closer to my car. Like he would pace a few steps toward me, then stand in the same spot for a bit, trying to make it not obvious. But at one point, when he was much closer, I very clearly saw him looking directly into the car at me. And then, all of a sudden, he had this wide, over-exaggerated smile.
What
and
the?
started approaching my window.
Freaking no. You would have got ran over.
Up to my car and tapped on the window, grinning at me through the glass. I was genuinely terrified, and as embarrassing as it is to say it, I was completely frozen in fear. Like, for a moment, I just couldn't get myself to do anything.
How the freak y'all don't react, bro? I don't react now immediately, bro. I don't know. I wouldn't even be frozen enough to even look at it dude long enough. I would have been already ain't even looking at that nigga and drive off. I don't care how close he is to the car.
The man started knocking on the window a little harder, basically hitting it, hard enough that I was surprised it didn't shatter. And then, in the distance behind him, I saw another guy come out of the rest stop building and start running over. I snapped out of it and put my car in reverse. My heart sank when my tires started spinning out. I wasn't moving at all. The guy got closer and closer, until suddenly my car jolted back and got traction. I backed out and put it in drive, and in the split second before I drove off, the one man that just got there threw a knife right at the windshield.
What the?
It bounced off, but put a huge crack right in the middle. I drove out of there and prayed that I didn't lose control or get stuck the whole way.
Good thing you did get the freak out of there, because you was about to get got, brother. Get.
Bro,
I don't know why he stopped anyway.
Sure, they would try to.
I don't get it. I don't understand it.
But as far as I know, they didn't. I drove dangerously through the storm until it started to clear up and I had service. It had been so long, though, that the police didn't find either of the men when they got there. But what they did find was the car. It was still right there in the middle of the parking lot, untouched. Despite what I had assumed, it wasn't either of the men's car. It belonged to some other guy that when the police showed me a reference photo, I didn't recognize. And over the next few days, it came out that the man was missing. No sign of him. From what I've heard, he was also on a road trip, and his family believes he pulled off the highway to sleep for the night. But then he wasn't heard from or seen again. Honestly, I think something really terrible happened at that rest stop just before I arrived there. I think one of the men was outside keeping a lookout while on call with the other, letting him know to block the door when I walked in. Had I forced my way inside, I have a really bad feeling of what I might have found, and they probably wouldn't have let me get away either.
Well, this is freaking crazy, bro. Oh my god, I clicked the other video. And just like that, y'all, based off the first story, basically, how can I say it? And force what I already believed in. I'm not walking in no dang on forest or anything with no street lights or anything, or remotely even trying to drive in no dang on third house or anything where a bunch of trees at nighttime with no lights, bro. Frick that. Second story, I'm not freaking dang on working third shift. I like, bro, you have to be paying me a good amount of money for me to be freaking working third shift, and I also had to have something to protect myself. Third, I meant to say, why the freak did you stop, big dog? Because my thinking ain't about like, oh, you might run into something crazy. That ain't my thoughts. My thoughts is, bro, the snow can easily get worse, and you're not gonna be able to go nowhere. Now, where the freak are you gonna go? You legit can't go out here. Like, bro, I would have kept driving. And then go try to at least make it. At least. Cause you just stopping at a dang on rest stop, bro. All it's gonna do is the snow gonna get worse, and then it'll be even harder for you to get, ain't gonna get on. I would have been more safe in my car driving to where I need to go than stopping somewhere. I don't know. That's just my opinion. But yeah, y'all. The animations, well, I mess with the animations, bro. I always love reacting to animations. No matter what the freak they is, bro. I love looking at animations because they always have a real good story behind them, and then we get to see visuals, you feel me? And that's what I like to see, you feel me? In the future, we will be reacting to more horror animations, bro. MJV animations. I did look at a few hit animations before I even made a reaction video, and he made pretty good animations. Y'all animators be doing y'all thing, bro. Y'all actually be inspiring me to want to make animation my own, so I ain't gonna lie. Got me thinking about it. I don't know what to use, gang. I could use, well, what was that? What was that out that people used to use? It was something out people used to use. Oh, it was Flipper Clip. I feel like Flipper Clip can be used with something like this because I don't have to make the animation look like crazy, like crazy, like dang on anime crazy. Now if I could, that'd be lit. But I feel like I can keep doing it. I should be able to start somewhere. Flipper Clip would be a good place to start. Cause I ain't gonna lie, I've been thinking about doing that for a long time. Or basically like make like story times and do like animations somewhere like something like how Young Dun and South Sky used to do his animation. That'd be lit. But yeah, y'all, without further ado, make sure y'all like, comment on the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications so y'all always know when I post new videos. And this another thing, bro. Even the fact of that how dark it is outside, I'm pretty sure when all this stuff is happening in these stores, it's already snowing outside. So it's gonna get worse because now you're stuck. In general, like you can't dang on drive nowhere, and then on top of it, you can't run nowhere because the snow gonna just slow you down. And both snow and dang on darkness and freaking weird people and do not go together because you're cooked. You're cooked. But I really hope it don't be no dang on another winter storm, bro. I don't got time, bro. I'm like, bro, after that last snowstorm I came, I'm sick of the snow, bro. Neither of y'all people at work already be complaining about dang on us having to kind of work still, even with the snow on the ground. That's why I don't want no more snow, bro. Bro, he said the first story was a little funny when he said, "Did I woke up? I'm so sorry." That's the thing, bro. That's what made me think, like, bro, this dude probably want nobody in his house for real. He probably that drunk enough that he probably did fell asleep there or he just passed out there. But he claimed that he never been that dang on he never been like he somewhat be alert on what's going on. Even when he drunk. Someone said my school better be closed tomorrow. It was 1 month ago. No, not changed, but they better do your homework tonight. Watching this while it's cold outside was a terrible idea, and I loved it. He'd never would see it again. And they talk about the dude.
Anyway,
yeah.
Once the footprints made it to the woods, there was no way to track them any further. For a while.
Well, y'all they got no cameras on that building. So I said, why is this first story sounding for me? I literally watched it earlier this week. Someone said Sega got king of dumbass. Leaving home knowing this king of storm is coming. Not only that, the fact you stop driving just because you feel like the snow get bad, bro, your best bet is to keep driving. Because if you stop somewhere, you could be stuck there. Like, at least if you go stop somewhere, let it be like a public area where people at. You go park at a dang rest stop and nobody at, really. No workers there or anything. Bro, I can't stand people like this. Proper grammar. Why does it freaking matter? Do you know what the freak the dude meant? So the story one didn't really make any sense. Question one: how long was the president was following him? Question two: when he went for a walk, did the unknown individual follow him from home, or did the unknown individual follow him after he reached a same distance? Question three: did the individual know him or no? Because if the individual didn't know or knows where he lives, how did he know where he lives and got into his house? Bro, I'm telling you, bro, this dude was pissy drunk and was tripping, bro. It's the only thing I can't even think of. So it's always with the clump foots to the crazy about that's so distracting. Not a fan of that at all. have fun at different videos. I really didn't try to scare us, cause I was over like, what the freak is he doing this? Just I heard doors opening in my ear and stuff. I was like, but what the freak even is it? So I said, sorry for your stories, drag all the and anything scary happening. But the only way you can really make it scary if you put yourself in perspective. You gotta put it in perspective, gang. In perspective. Imagine yourself in this situation. I'm kind of understand where you're coming from though, but my honest opinion, but some of y'all just be complaining just to complain, to be honest. I ain't gonna lie. Let's describe it too. MJV animations, we most likely will be reacting more videos from you, big dog. I just want to react to this one because we did have Winter Storm pass, and we basically still winning because we could claim another Winter Storm would happen. Which I'm not looking forward to. Anyways, like I said, bro, let's go ahead and get out of here, bro. Peace.